Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the first of hopefully not too many Aether Revolt boxes, because I want a masterpiece sooner rather than later. And a little special note for today, I got my Wizards package back in. The one set of, or it should be one pack of Kaladesh for our misprint. And there's a little note inside. And I will see what the note says. It says, "Greetings. Thank you for contacting us. Enclosed you will find replacements of your missing defective product. We apologize for the inconvenience. Sincerely, Noah." Well, thank you, Noah. You're now on my channel. So first, let's crack open this pack of Kaladesh and see what they decided to give me instead. And Cultivator of Blades. Well, that did not really, not really helping us out too much there with the Cultivator of Blades, but doesn't matter. This video is all about Aether Revolt. So, on to Aether Revolt. Looking for a masterpiece. It's gonna be our number one goal. Alpha Investments had one. Magic the Gathering Headquarters had one. Now Salmon's gonna get one. And today we have a guest from Stomping Grounds. My buddy Brett is here, who will help us talk about possible uses of cards and combinations we will find out of Aether Revolt. Brett, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
So, Skyship Plunderer, Aeronaut Admiral, Windkin Raiders, Hope of Girapur is our first one.
Girapur. That card's pretty interesting. The original incarnation, or at least a card that's very similar to it, Xantid Swarm, originally printed in Scourge, reprinted in Eternal Masters. So the card's pretty powerful effect in that the opponent can't, cast spells. So if you're trying to combo off, it's pretty good. That being said, this one's a little bit worse than its previous incarnation. Mostly because it has to not only attack, but also deal damage. But on the other hand, it's a legendary Thopter. So if you want to build a Thopter EDH deck, this is your guy.
Alright, and Plains. Plains it is. We'll leave that down there. I'll move the other stacks out of the way. And I know for a fact that the number one uncommon we're going to be looking for should be Fatal Push. So let's just jump to let's do the last four, because if there is a foil, it will be in there. So Reckless Racer, or I should probably just do the last ones anyway, because in case we get a Fatal Push. So I'm just going to jump through the front ones anyway. We did not get a Fatal Push in this pack, though. Cogwork Assembler, Gonti's Machinations, I can say that properly now, Reckless Racer, and our first mythic, Aetherwind Basker. Comments on Aetherwind Basker?
Well, the card's not really impressive for competitive play. However, if you were to play this in your commander deck, it's pretty good with Devotion, triple green Devotion. That's about all I can say positive for it. I don't love the card, because it requires energy, and there's not too many energy cards out yet. But, still a cool card nonetheless. It's Big Lizard.
Big Lizards. Renegade Rallier, Airdrop Aeronauts, Servo Schematic, and Free Jam Regent. Keep that one right there.
Free Jam Regent utilizes the Improvise mechanic, which is pretty sweet. It's Convoke, but only for artifacts instead of creatures this time. It's mostly a limited only card. It's a dragon. Cool name. Free Jam. But yeah, not much to say here about that.
Foundry Hornet, Servo Schematic again, Vengeful Rebel, and Quicksmith Rebel.
Quicksmith Rebel is going to go in the same category as the Regent in that it's solid and limited, But that's about it. Not, yeah, you don't want competitive play. You don't want it for your EDH deck, probably. But that's all right. Can't all be winners.
Oh, I spoiled it. There's a foil back there. So you can just go through a couple of them. Gremlin Infestation, Skyship Plunderer, Monstrous Onslaught. There we go. Spire of Industry. And a Maverick Thopterist is our foil. We'll leave that one down there.
I will say the Thopterist looks good in foil.
It's a pretty sweet foil looking card.
Spire of Industry is fairly powerful, all things considered. I expect to see this card in competitive Magic.
There we go. Outland Boar, Invigorated Rampage, Tezzeret's Touch, and we have an Aethertide Whale. Ooh, and a foil Foundry Assembler. That looks pretty sweet in foil. It's a cool background. I'm going to drop him right there.
Aethertide Whale is reminiscent of Palinchron in that it generates more of a certain resource when it comes into play than when it leaves. Unfortunately, there's no good way to abuse it just yet. For competitive play, that is. A little better than Free Jam Regent or the Quick Smith Rebel. Sorry, not Quicksilver. But, I wouldn't hold my breath on him.
And so another Outland Boar. Hungry Flames. Illusionist Stratagem. And Yeheni Undying Partisan. And another, foil rare. We have a Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Look at that. That's a great pack. We're going to drop foil on top of the foil pile. Put him off to the side.
Glint Sleeve Siphoner, I think, is a pretty good foil rare to get out of the set. Obviously not the best, but it's a powerful card in that it generates you energy at virtually no cost, and has a pretty good effect if you already have energy in that you can swap your energy for cards, which is pretty good for competitive Magic. Again, if you're building a commander deck, EDH deck, energy's not quite there yet, but I think this card has potential to be in there.
And how about Yahini?
Mr. Undying Partisan.
He's an Aether-born vampire. Artwork is pretty sweet on that thing.
He reminds me of a video game character. I can't remember.
Man. Soul something. Reminds me of Soul something.
Maybe.
I don't know. Old school. PlayStation 2 game or something. Says 2/2 haste. Whenever your creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+ counter on Yahini Undying Partisan. Sacrifice another creature. Yahini gains indestructible until end of turn.
He's interesting. He's a sack outlet. Not much. I think he has potential, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. This is because he's underwhelming for being a legendary.
Death Dismissal. Consulate Dreadnought. Aerial Modification. And we have Pia's Revolution. And a swamp.
Pia's Revolution. Well, it's not great. I want to point out the uncommon artifact we just got.
Where's that?
The vehicle.
Consulate Dreadnought?
For the low price of 1 mana, you too can have a 7/11. I mean, it's a crew of 6, but a 7/11 for 1. If that's not power creep, I don't know what is.
All right, maybe that will creep up somewhere. Maybe that will become one of those uncommons that becomes worth something. It's probably not printed near as rarely though. It's probably printed a lot more than stuff like Fatal Push or Aether Hub or Harness Lightning from the last set.
I mean, demand as much as those cards, that's for sure.
Lifecrafter's Gift, Winding Constrictor, Barricade Breaker, and Call for Unity.
Call for Unity, huh? That card's alright, but the real money card there was the Constrictor. The card is solid for competitive play. It's black and green, it's a snake, it's 2/3. I believe it lets you put additional counters onto your creatures. Get that card up real quick.
Where? I lost it. It's already gone. It's in the pile. Where is it? Is it in that pile? Nope, not in that pile.
Nope.
Nope.
Alright, so I guess I'll talk about Call for Unity.
I'm sure we'll get another one.
So Call for Unity is pretty interesting. It uses the revolt mechanic, which is easier to trigger than a lot of the other mechanics recently printed. Like, it makes combat a lot harder. Do I block? Does he have a revolt spell? Do I not block? Does he have a pump spell? It adds a whole lot to the game, another level.
That's common. So, Gifted Aetherborn, Malphus Revolutionary, Perilous Predicament, and we have our Peace Walker Colossus, which you've seen, you know, probably all over the place. That's one of those cards that they're advertising.
Peace Walker Colossus. 6/6 for 3, crew 4. It's a pretty interesting vehicle in that you can turn on other vehicles. It's a pretty powerful mechanic. Even if you can't crew itself, with its ability, you're able to make that 7/11 a creature all of a sudden for 2 mana. It's a pretty good deal.
Without crewing.
Yeah, exactly. For only 2 mana.
So you 1-drop that, 2 turns later, you Peace Walker Colossus, and then the next turn you 2 mana, and you have a 7/11 turn 3. Turn 4.
Get to go to town, though, but you can keep doing it. I think the real card,
Becomes
though,
a real threat. Go ahead.
Malphus Revolutionary. So, when it comes into play or dies, each kind of count you get to, for each kind of counter on target permanent or player, give that permanent player another counter of that kind. Similar to Gilder Baron from Eventide. So, it affects poison counters, loyalty counters, energy counters. That card's going to be pretty popular. Even if not for competitive play, you'll want it for your EDH decks.
We have Shielded Aether Thief, Spire Patrol, Siege Modification, and Heroic Intervention.
Heroic Intervention's kind of lackluster. It's a combat trick. I think I like Vines of Vastwood better, back from Zendikar and Modern Masters too.
Feel free, by the way, at any time to shout in the comments and bash either of us for our opinions on this. I'm sure we're going to get plenty of...
I might be wrong. It'll be fun to come back in like a couple months and see how everything's panned out, you know?
Yep, I think so. We have Ravenous Intruder, Maverick Thopterus again, Hungry Flames, and we have Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Leave that up there. Anything about Lifecrafter's Bestiary?
It's an interesting card. Scrying 1, the upkeep's pretty good. You can continuously do it. And being able to pay an extra mana, draw a card, never cast a creature, also fairly powerful. It'll be great in EDH decks. That's about it, though.
Scrapper Champion, Salvage Scuttler, Vengeful Rebel, and our rare. Oh, our mythic is Lightning Runner. I believe that was my pre-release. Mythic I got. I have that in foil.
So, this Mystic rare is very Mystic.
Mystic or Mythic?
It's Mythic.
But you're saying it's Mystic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ruined it. I guess I can't do it anymore. Let me
I
read
ruined
that.
it, guys. I ruined it.
Tax, you get the energy. This card's interesting. It's cool. It's definitely cool.
I feel like that's a very high cost though for that card, especially in red decks.
For everything involved, yeah, it's pretty high. That's all I can say about it. That's good. It's cool.
It's cool, guys. It's a cool card. You heard it here. Brett said it. Untethered Express, Barricade Breaker, Thopter Arrest, and we have Aid from the Cowl.
Yeah.
Aid from the Cowl.
Let's skip Aid from the Cowl, because that card... Let me read that one time. Control Battlefield. Oh, no, Aid from the Cowl is pretty sweet. Reminiscent of Lurking Predators from M10 and recently reprinted in Cleaner 2016. But the real gem here is Untethered Express. So it's a 4/4/4 with Trample, that whenever it attacks, you get to put a counter so it keeps growing. Much like Radiant Ravine from Worldwake.
Crew 1 seems pretty cheap for a 4/4.
Crew 1's very cheap. So that card is another card to keep your eye on for uncommons. Uncommons you might like.
We might throw that one off to the side and keep an uncommon pool going of what we might see grow. There's a foil in there. I saw it. Lifecrafter's Gift, Weldfast Engineer, Lifecraft Awakening, Whir of Invention. I believe we got one of those in one of the pre-release kits I opened up. And our foil is Filgary Crawler.
Foil's beautiful.
And I have an emblem for Tezzeret. Some sweet artwork. Drop that on the foil pile. And Whir of Invention.
Whir of Invention is insane. Card is very, very good. Expect to see that in Vintage, for sure. Probably Standard as well. Maybe Legacy. Not super sold on being Legacy, but definitely Standard, definitely Vintage. Maybe Modern, honestly.
Hey guys, by the way, I just pulled another one. I know, I'm not good. Gremlin Infestation, Spire Patrol, Siege Modification, and Release the Gremlins was another one that we got from the pre-release kits.
Release the Gremlins is a fun card. Very thematic, if you will.
So, Aeronaut Admiral, Hidden Stockpile, Crackdown Construct, and Johnny. Look at that.
All right.
And Johnny. First
Johnny?
Planeswalker of the new sets. What? What? Johnny.
Just one.
And John. Oh, yeah. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Johnny. We'll leave it Johnny off to the side. As normal, I will put our counters off to the side with the YouTube annotations. So we'll do prices, which will automatically be, out of whack at the start. And I'll do the mythic count, the foil count. And there's only 2 Planeswalkers in this set, so I feel like it's going to be a little bit harder to pull, 2 Planeswalkers, even in a single box. But we'll see what happens. I would still think you're going to pull on average, maybe 1 a box. Might go down. Johnny. 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 Nope, pulled too many cards. Salvage Scuttler. Reckless Racer. Reverse Engineer. And Karizev Skyship Raider. And I had her as a pre-release card as well.
Karizev's... She's a nice lady, I bet.
She's a pirate.
No South Sea deckhand, though. This is the real card that's interesting here. 2 mana, draw 3. This card's basically Thoughtcast.
2 mana.
I'm gonna tap 3 of my Ornithopters. My Prophetic Prism. You'll see this card in competitive play. Mark my words. Mark them.
It's going to be a very interesting video.
Yeah.
I think, all things considered. Ironclad Revolutionary. Daredevil Dragster. Felidar Guardian.
Oh.
And Oath of Ajani. So they're going to go right next to one another.
Felidar Guardian's pretty cool. So before we go any further, if you play Standard or have been looking at the spoiler, you've noticed that Felidar Guardian is a combo with Saheeli Ray. You use Saheeli Ray's ability to make a copy of a permanent. When you copy Felidar Guardian, you blink Saheeli Ray, so she comes in as a new object, so you can use her ability again. You can do that infinitely to get as many 1/4 cat beasts as you want. With haste. They are dead. Can happen turn 5.
So turn 5 dead.
Yes. Turn 4 if you play a ramp spell on turns 2 or 3. Like a mana dork, if you will. But that's putting into 4 colors, not so great. But yeah, it's powerful. This is another card you have to keep an eye out for Standard.
Felidar Guardian, guys. Cogwork Assembler. Ironclad Revolutionary again. Pacification Array. And Baral Chief of Compliance. Legendary creature, human wizard.
This human wizard is notable in that he'll make your spells cost less, which is one of the most broken things you can do in Magic. Cheating on mana breaks the game. Will he break the game? I don't know. He's a legend, but he has 2 very good abilities. Very relevant.
And here we go. Ravenous Intruder. Fatal Push. First one of the box. Fatal Push. That's your $4.50 uncommon right now. Worth more than probably half the rares that even release right now. So we're going to stick that off here. Well, you can't see it on camera, but it's right off to this front. We have Pima Aether Seer. And our rare is Herald of Anguish. It was a mythic demon. That's some pretty awesome artwork. I would love to see him in a foil right there.
He's pretty metal.
He's pretty metal? Is he made of metal is the question.
Maybe. You can improvise him. Tap your artifacts to summon them. Let's see the upcity from this card. Oh, I like them.
All right. Also, just in between, I've heard that sometimes YouTube is now unsubscribing people. So if you have to subscribe to the channel and you see yourself now unsubscribed, give it a check. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Drop likes, drop comments, drop whatever you feel like dropping.
Insults, maybe?
Insults, and whatever you decide, aim toward Brett for today's video. Renegade Rallier, Monstrous Onslaught, another Hidden Stockpile, and Rishkar's Expertise. Yeah.
Alright, Rishkar, what are you good at? Drawing cards. Oh. That's pretty cool. So, Momentous Fall is my first thought of what it's similar to, but instead of sacrificing creatures, you get another spell, which is pretty good. 6 mana though, you only pay for. 5-mana spell plus draw some cards. I'm in.
So, Restoration Specialist, Treasure Keeper, Windkin Raiders, and Gonti's Aetherheart. That was one of those. That's a mythic, and it's one of those. I think this is also a masterpiece, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember. Honestly.
I don't know if it's a masterpiece or not. I remember Tolarian and Boogie talking about it, but this is definitely a card of note. It is whenever a Gonti's Aetherheart or another artifact enters battlefield under your control, gets you energy. That's pay 8 energy, exile Gonti Aetherheart, take an extra turn after this one. So that is definitely that could turn the tide of your game for sure.
Yeah. I'm starting like how we'll see competitive play as a finisher. Get them all cheap.
Get them while they're hot. Shielded Aether Thief, Aeronaut Admiral, Illusionist Stratagem, Midnight Entourage, and a foil, Aether Inspector. So there's Midnight Entourage. We'll drop this in the foil pile. Doing really good on foils on this box.
Yeah, it's also I think it's Stratagem.
Stratagem? Did I read that wrong?
I'm not super sure.
I probably read that wrong.
You saying Stratagem?
I'm
pretty sure it's Stratagem.
I pronounce a lot of things wrong, as a lot of people who watch my videos know.
I don't care.
We have Anthony in the back there. He's been on my very first video. Mostly back there playing Hearthstone right now.
Basically.
So we have Hidden Herbalist, Servo Schematic, Vengeful Rebel, and we have another Mythic, Mechanized Production. I should really have just kind of plopped all the Mythics in one stack too. So there's your Mythic. I think they're all going to start going in the top right corner.
Let's see. Enchant artifact you control. Oh. That's pretty cool.
I got a lot of Mythics this box, and a decent amount of foils. I mean, I think this box is pretty solid. Glad it's on release day.
Another quick interjection. This card, Hidden Herbalist, very good. Very good. Because it's a cheat on mana. Also, this card's sweet for EDH.
Alright. Restoration Specialist again. Lifecraft Awakening. Pretty sure I got that in the pre-release. Another Spire Patrol. And Brawl's Expertise.
Card's flashy, but not exactly good. Sorry, Brawl.
Sorry, bro. Brawl. Ornithopter.
Hold up. Ornithopter's been printed like a million times. But this is probably my favorite art. More so than the original one from Antiquities. More so than the dinosaur-looking dude from Mirrodin. Way more than the flying Viking boat from M10.
Would you like this? You can have this Ornithopter.
I need 3 more.
You need 3 more?
I need 3 more.
Well, if we get, that's the first one we got. So.
Right. If you guys want to send them in, I'll take them.
Narnum Renegade, Efficient Construction, and another Aether Geode Miner. Someone was nice enough, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry, but they were nice enough to comment, talking about how this will stack with Revolt in the comments. I appreciate your input. I welcome everybody's input, especially if it's, nice things to say. We want to create a positive channel that, provokes thought and communication and, all that good stuff. There's no need to really bash or talk trash on anybody. We're all here to have fun and literally play a game. It's literally all about a game.
The game.
The game, but it's a game. Deadeye Harpooner, Daredevil Dragster, another Felidar Guardian,